The hidden advantage. Why fast learners win in a fast world. In today's world, speed matters. Not just the speed of technology, but the speed at which people adapt, absorb, and act. The hidden advantage that separates the elite from the average is not talent. It's not background, and it's not even opportunity. It's the ability to learn rapidly, continuously, and deliberately. The top 1% have mastered a skill that gives them a permanent edge. They learn faster than anyone else. And because they learn faster, they grow faster. They adapt quicker. They seize opportunities sooner. In a world that's accelerating by the minute, this ability to outlearn others has become the single most valuable competitive advantage. Consider two professionals who start in the same position. Same job, same education, same experience. 5 years later, one has advanced into leadership, built multiple new skills, and commands respect in their industry. The other is stuck, doing the same tasks, facing the same problems, and feeling further behind each year. What changed? Not luck, not talent, not connections. The one difference was learning speed. The world no longer rewards those who once knew something. It rewards those who can absorb new information and apply it faster than the competition. It punishes those who cling to old knowledge and outdated routines. The second you stop learning, you begin falling behind, silently, invisibly, and inevitably. This is not a motivational slogan. It's a cold, observable fact of modern life. Technology evolves. Markets shift, skills expire. The person who isn't reading, listening, practicing, or refining is not standing still. They're being passed by. Every new innovation, every emerging platform, every changing standard creates two groups: those who grow with it and those who get left behind. That's why fast learners win. They move with change instead of resisting it. They adapt without hesitation. They process information quickly, discard what's no longer useful, and apply what works immediately. They don't panic when industries shift or tools evolve. They pivot. And while others waste time complaining about how things used to be, fast learners are already mastering the next thing. This learning agility becomes a force multiplier. It doesn't just help you keep up, it helps you lead. You become the person who sees trends early, who anticipates problems before they become crises, who finds answers when others are stuck. But here's what most people miss. Fast learning isn't natural. It's not something you're born with. It's built through habit, through systems, through daily discipline. The best learners aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the most consistent. They know how to extract insights quickly, act on them efficiently, and never stop iterating. Fast learning also builds confidence. When you know that you can pick up any skill, adapt to any change, or navigate any challenge, you stop fearing the future. You become more decisive, more focused, and far more resilient than those who rely on static knowledge or outdated credentials. This chapter is not about theory. It's a wake-up call, a warning against stagnation, because the gap between those who keep learning and those who don't is widening, fast. And once you fall behind in today's world, it's hard to catch up. The good news? You don't have to be a genius. You don't need to go back to school. You don't need permission. All you need is a decision to become someone who learns quickly, consistently, and strategically. That single shift changes everything. If you commit to learning faster, you will unlock opportunities that others miss. You will find solutions that others never see. You will become the person others turn to when things are changing, because they know you're already ahead of the curve. This audiobook will show you how. In the next chapter, you'll learn the core mindset that drives lifelong learning, the belief system that separates stagnant minds from expanding ones. It's not about information. It's about how you think, and how that thinking determines whether you rise or fall. Let's get started. The 1% mindset shift. Think like a lifelong learner. Success is not reserved for the most intelligent. nor is it handed to those with the best resumes. In the real world, the greatest advantage belongs to those who understand one truth. Education never ends. Learning is not an event. It is a mindset. And in that mindset lies the single biggest separator between those who rise and those who remain average. The top 1% think differently. They approach learning as a lifelong commitment, not a phase to graduate from. They never say, "I've learned enough." They say, "What's next?" Contrast that with the average performer. The moment they receive a degree or land a stable job, they shift into autopilot. Their curiosity fades, their drive to improve slows, and without realizing it, they begin to fall behind. That's the danger of the fixed mindset. The belief that intelligence and ability are static, that you're either good at something or you're not, that your performance is a reflection of talent instead of training. This belief subtly encourages mediocrity, because if you think you're already good enough, there's no reason to keep growing. But high achievers think differently. They operate with a UC growth mindset. The unshakable belief that skills can be developed, intelligence can be expanded, and every challenge is an opportunity to improve. They don't fear failure. They dissect it. They don't avoid difficulty. They pursue it. The growth mindset turns every obstacle into a stepping stone. Every setback becomes a feedback loop. Every gap in knowledge becomes a target for expansion. The difference isn't about motivation. It's about identity. The top 1% don't learn occasionally. They see themselves as learners. They take ownership of their development. They are not passive recipients of information. They are active seekers of advantage. And in doing so, they shape the trajectory of their lives, year after year, opportunity after opportunity. Lifelong learning isn't optional in a world that changes as fast as ours. It is the minimum requirement for relevance. The economy no longer rewards those who once knew something. It rewards those who are still learning, still growing, still evolving. Look at any major breakthrough, in business, in sports, in science, and behind it, you'll find someone who refused to stop learning. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science. Warren Buffett still reads for hours every day. Serena Williams refined her game even when she was already the best. These aren't outliers. They are proof of the mindset in motion. But there's more. The growth mindset doesn't just produce results. It protects you from stagnation, from irrelevance, from decline. In a world where entire industries are disrupted in months, the only true security is your ability to adapt. And adaptation begins with learning. This is the internal shift you must make. Stop measuring yourself by what you know. Start measuring yourself by how fast you grow. Stop chasing outcomes. Start building the capacity to outlearn, outthink, and out-execute anyone around you. This shift in mindset is not a motivational trick. It is a survival skill. And once you embrace it, everything changes. You stop being threatened by people who know more, because now you're learning just as fast. You stop avoiding hard problems, because now you see them as a proving ground. You stop fearing the future, because you've already trained yourself to evolve. The fixed mindset keeps people trapped in who they were. The growth mindset frees people to become who they're meant to be. And here's the truth. You cannot become part of the 1% with a fixed mindset. You will plateau. You will blame circumstances. You will quit when things get hard. But with a growth mindset, you become dangerous. Because now, no matter where you start, you can keep climbing. This is the foundation of lifelong learning. It's not about information, it's about transformation. You're not just gaining knowledge, you're building a new identity. In the next chapter, we'll move from mindset to method. You'll learn how to create a simple but powerful daily learning habit. One that fits your life, compounds over time, and separates you from the masses. Because knowledge is useless unless it becomes part of your routine. Let's build that system now. How to learn every day without burnout. In a world full of noise, complexity, and constant pressure, the idea of daily learning might sound overwhelming. Most people imagine long hours with textbooks, endless lectures, or overwhelming routines they can't sustain. That's why they don't begin. They assume learning requires a massive commitment, and so they make none at all. But the truth is different. The people who grow the fastest aren't the ones who study for hours. They're the ones who learn consistently, every single day, without fail. Not because they have more time, but because they understand a powerful principle. Small, daily learning beats occasional, intense effort. It's not about quantity. It's about consistency. 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes. If done right, those 10 minutes can compound into breakthroughs, into promotions, into new skills, sharper thinking, better decisions, and bigger opportunities. Not someday, but sooner than you think. Because here's how growth actually works. It's not a sprint, it's a system. And like any system, it needs to be sustainable. Let's break down what that system looks like. 1. Set a daily learning time. Every high performer has structure, not chaos. Pick one fixed time in your day, morning, evening, lunch break, and protect it. Just 10 to 15 minutes. Put it on your calendar like a business meeting. Not optional, non-negotiable. You're not doing this when you feel like it. You're doing it because this is who you are becoming. Make the routine sacred. 2. Choose one topic or skill. Avoid overwhelm. Don't try to learn 5 things at once. Start with one, the skill or subject that moves your goals forward fastest. Sales, writing, psychology, leadership, technology. Pick the topic that aligns with your mission and go deep. The goal is not to be a generalist. The goal is to build focused depth, fast. 3. Use micro-learning tools. Books, audiobooks, podcasts, online courses, bite-sized lessons, curated summaries. The modern learner has infinite tools. Use them. The best learners build their systems around accessibility. They learn while walking, commuting, exercising, waiting in line. Learning doesn't compete with your life. It integrates into it. Use your phone not just for consumption, but for compounding. 4. Track your progress. Measurement creates momentum. Keep a simple log of what you learn each day. One sentence, one key takeaway, one application idea. This builds visible progress. And when you see that progress, your brain starts craving the next win. What gets tracked gets repeated. What gets repeated becomes identity. Learning isn't something you try, it's something you live. 5. Apply immediately. Reading without applying is intellectual entertainment. You don't just want to know more, you want to do more with what you know. Each day ask, how can I use this? One action, one conversation, one improvement. The fastest learners don't just absorb, they implement. Application turns learning into leverage. 6. Make it effortless. The key to sustainability is removing friction. Put your audiobook app on your home screen. Keep your next book downloaded. Cue your podcast playlist the night before. Set up a study space that's always ready. The more effortless it is to start, the more likely you'll repeat it, daily, without fail. Remove the excuses. Remove the friction. Make growth your default. The reason most people burn out is simple. They try to do too much too soon. They treat learning like a crash diet, intense, exhausting, and temporary. But the top 1% treat it like brushing their teeth. Small, simple, automatic. They don't binge, they build. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. And those systems are designed to work for years, not just weeks. Now ask yourself, who are you becoming day by day? Because every day you don't learn, the world doesn't pause. It keeps changing, and you fall a little further behind. But every day you do learn, even just for 10 minutes. You build separation, you build skill, you build momentum that others cannot see, until it becomes impossible to ignore. This chapter isn't just about staying informed, it's about becoming irreplaceable. In the next chapter, we'll explore one of the most powerful tools at your disposal: reading. You'll learn how the world's most successful people use books to stay sharp, gain advantage, and think decades ahead. Let's turn the page. The smart way to read: knowledge that pays dividends. Books are not entertainment. They are not a hobby. For the world's most successful people, books are a strategic weapon, a tool for leverage, a vault of wisdom, and a gateway to decades of experience in just a few hours. Reading, when used correctly, becomes a shortcut to power. Warren Buffett reads 5 to 6 hours a day. Bill Gates devours roughly 50 books per year. Elon Musk, when asked how he learned to build rockets, simply replied, "I read books." These individuals are not reading for fun. They are reading for advantage. And so can you. Reading is how you absorb the thinking of world-class minds. It's how you compress the lessons of failure, success, strategy, and execution into your mental toolkit. In a noisy, distracted world, reading is the most reliable way to develop deep focus, mental sharpness, and competitive clarity. But here's what most people get wrong. They treat reading like a race, or worse, like a passive activity. They flip through pages, nod in agreement, and move on. Nothing retained, nothing applied, nothing changed. That is not learning. That is consumption. If you want reading to create transformation, you must approach it with intention. You must read like a strategist, not a student. Here's how. 1. Read for outcomes, not activity. Reading without a purpose is entertainment. Reading with a goal is transformation. Before opening a book, ask yourself, what do I want to get out of this? Are you solving a problem? Strengthening a skill? Expanding your mental models? This simple question forces focus. It filters your attention. It ensures that every page serves a purpose. If the book doesn't serve your mission, close it. Time is too precious to read without reason. 2. Balance depth and breadth. There are two types of reading: deep reading and wide reading. Deep reading is how you master a specific skill. It involves rereading, taking notes, applying insights, and building from repetition. Wide reading is how you expand your perspective, sampling ideas from psychology, history, science, and philosophy to build mental agility and connect dots others miss. Both matter, but never confuse movement with progress. Reading 10 books once is not the same as reading one great book 10 times. Mastery lives in repetition. 3. Build a strategic reading list. Do not read what everyone else is reading. Read what moves you forward. Build a short list of high-impact books in areas that matter most: your industry, your key skills, mindset, systems, and strategic thinking. Revisit the classics. Study the authors who've done what you want to do. Don't chase novelty. Chase mastery. Your reading list should reflect your goals. If it doesn't, you're wasting time. 4. Use the 3x3 method. Read, reflect, apply. Every time you finish a chapter, write down 3 things: 1 core idea, 1 practical application, 1 question it raised. This method forces retention. It moves reading from passive to active. It creates learning loops that deepen understanding and spark action. If you can't apply it, you haven't learned it. 5. Don't just read books. Study them. Reading is input. Mastery comes from reflection and repetition. Use highlighters. Take notes. Revisit old chapters. Teach what you've learned. Discuss with others. Turn books into blueprints. Treat reading as a serious investment because it is. Most people collect books like trophies. The successful extract results. You don't need more shelves. You need more application. 6. Choose format based on lifestyle. Some people thrive with physical books, others with Kindle, many with audiobooks. There is no best format, only what keeps you consistent. Use audiobooks during travel or workouts. Use Kindle to highlight and export notes. Use physical books for deep, undistracted focus. The format doesn't matter. The habit does. Reading is the only habit that gives you compound returns for life. One idea from one book, applied with precision, can change your income, your direction, and your legacy. But that only happens when you read with intention, with hunger, with a system. The average person reads to pass time. The 1% read to compress time. Start today. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to use podcasts and audiobooks as part of your learning ecosystem, so your growth continues even when your hands and eyes are busy. Because once learning becomes constant, growth becomes inevitable. Let's keep going. Beyond books, audiobooks and podcasts for daily growth. In the pursuit of lifelong learning, time is your greatest constraint and your greatest opportunity. Most people waste hours every day stuck in traffic, walking without thought, scrolling mindlessly. But the top 1% use those same hours to accelerate their education, not by adding more reading time, but by transforming passive moments into productive ones. How? Through audiobooks and podcasts. These tools unlock the hidden hours of your day. They allow you to learn while driving, cooking, exercising, or commuting. They give you the power to build your mind while others are wasting theirs. And in a world moving this fast, that's not just a productivity hack. It's a survival skill. But like any tool, their power lies in how you use them. Random listening is noise. Strategic listening is leverage. Here's how to make these tools a permanent part of your growth system. 1. Build a learning-first audio library. Your phone should not be a distraction device. It should be a mobile university. Create playlists of high-quality podcasts and audiobook titles that align with your goals. Think, mindset, performance, communication, leadership, finance, personal growth. Nothing random, nothing irrelevant, only content that sharpens you. This is not about entertainment. This is about evolution. 2. Define your listening zones. Not all time is equal. Define when and where you'll listen consistently. Morning routine. Set the tone for your day with focused content. Commute time. Turn every ride into an education session. Workouts. Replace music with content that pushes your mindset. Evening wind down. Use reflective content to end your day with intention. Your goal is to embed learning into your lifestyle, not just your calendar. 3. Choose high-quality sources. The internet is full of empty advice and shallow opinions. Avoid content that sounds smart but teaches nothing. Choose voices with proven experience, data-backed insights, consistent delivery. Look for industry experts, founders and thought leaders, psychologists, strategists, operators, long-form interviews with substance, not just sound bites. Curate your inputs, because what you hear consistently becomes what you believe instinctively. 4. Take micronotes. Listening is passive, learning is active. When you hear something powerful, pause and capture it. One line, one phrase, one idea. Use voice notes, notepad apps, or physical journals. Later, review and apply. Reflection converts sound into wisdom. Don't just listen, harvest insights. 5. Use smart speed and repetition. Most platforms allow speed adjustments. Once you're familiar with the speaker's tone, increase speed slightly to save time, but never at the cost of comprehension. When a podcast or audiobook delivers high value, revisit it. Repetition deepens understanding. The best learners re-listen, rethink, and reapply. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is how mastery begins. 6. Balance audio with other modalities. Podcasts and audiobooks are excellent for inspiration, perspective, momentum, but don't rely on them alone. Use them as a supplement, not a substitute. Pair listening with reading, writing, direct experience. Audio content expands your worldview. Execution turns it into results. When used strategically, podcasts and audiobooks become more than background noise. They become a force multiplier. They extend your edge. They sharpen your thinking. They give you a mental advantage in motion. While others waste time, you compound it. While others fill their mind with distraction, you fill yours with power. This is what separates the casual learner from the committed one. In the next chapter, we'll confront the greatest threat to growth: distraction. You'll learn how to protect your focus, eliminate attention leakage, and enter states of deep work, where real transformation happens. Because without focus, even the best learning system will collapse. Let's continue. The focus formula: cut through noise, get more done. In a distracted world, focus is a superpower. You already know this. Every time you try to work, your phone lights up. Emails demand your attention. Notifications steal your flow. The world pulls at your mind second by second until the day ends, and you wonder what you actually accomplished. This isn't by accident. Your distractions are being engineered. Multi-billion-dollar companies compete for your attention with algorithms, psychology, and relentless precision. And if you don't fight back, you lose. Not just productivity. You lose progress, growth, potential. Because here's the hard truth: you can't become exceptional if you can't focus. The highest achievers in the world, CEOs, creators, athletes, innovators, all have one thing in common. They protect their focus like their life depends on it. Because it does. Let's break down how they do it. 1. Understand the cost of context switching. You may think you're multitasking. You're not. Your brain is switching between tasks, and every switch comes with a cost. It takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. Multiply that by the number of times you're interrupted each day, and you begin to see the real problem. You're busy but never deep, active but rarely effective. Multitasking isn't efficient. It's destructive. The first step to focus is eliminating the myth of multitasking. One task, one block of time, 0 distractions. 2. Design a distraction-free environment. Willpower is not enough. You must engineer your environment to protect your attention. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Use Do Not Disturb mode during work sessions. Set specific times to check messages and ignore them the rest of the day. Put your phone out of reach, or better yet, in another room. Create a space where your mind doesn't have to fight, because the battle has already been won by design. Master the art of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. It's where your best thinking happens. It's where breakthroughs are born. To enter deep work, you need structure. Time block your day. Choose specific windows for deep, uninterrupted work. Start with intention. Know exactly what you'll do during that time. Use a focus ritual. A coffee, a playlist, or a breathing exercise that signals your brain it's time to work. Don't wait for clarity. Create it through habit. 4. Implement the 50-10 focus rhythm. The brain is not designed for endless concentration. Use structured intervals. 50 minutes of thus deep focus. 10 minutes of thus complete rest. During the 10 minutes, step away. No scrolling, no work, just recovery. This rhythm balances intensity with renewal, allowing you to sustain sharpness throughout the day. 5. Train yourself to say no. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you say no to your goals. Distractions come in many forms: social media, emails, meetings, even people with good intentions. You must learn to say no, firmly, clearly, and consistently. High performers don't fill their schedules. They guard at them. Your focus is your most limited resource. Protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. 6. Build a single-task identity. Stop telling yourself, "I'm just bad at focusing." You're not. You've just never been trained to focus. Start telling yourself, "I am a focused, strategic executor. I finish what I start. I go deep when others stay shallow." Your identity shapes your behavior. And the more you affirm it, the more you live it. Focus isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. One deeply focused hour a day, 5 days a week, is more valuable than 50 distracted hours. If you want to outlearn your peers, outthink your competitors, and outperform expectations, build a system that protects your focus every single day. Distractions are constant, but so is your power to control them. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to strengthen the mindset and routines that make discipline automatic, even when motivation disappears. Because if our focus is your weapon, discipline is your shield. Let's move forward. Self-discipline over motivation, the real game changer. Motivation feels good. It's inspiring. It's powerful for a moment, but it fades. Always. One bad night of sleep, one stressful morning, one difficult decision, and your motivation disappears. Then what? Most people wait. They scroll. They stall. They convince themselves that when motivation comes back, so will their momentum. But it won't. Because motivation is emotion. And emotion is inconsistent. Discipline is what remains when emotion is gone. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's not temporary. It's permanent when built correctly. That's why the most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation. They operate on vast systems of self-discipline that make performance automatic. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And habits are built on discipline. Let's break down how to build it. 1. Understand the discipline fallacy. Most people think discipline is a personality trait. You either have it or you don't. It's so wrong. Discipline is a skill. It's trainable. It grows with use. It gets stronger every time you do something you didn't feel like doing, and do it anyway. Discipline is not willpower. It's not pushing harder. It's removing the need to push at all. It's designing your life so that the right actions become automatic, and the wrong ones become harder to access. 2. Build routines that run without you. The top 1% don't make daily decisions. They build systems. They wake up at the same time. They learn at the same time. They train, think, and execute at scheduled blocks. No guesswork, no improvisation. Because when everything is a decision, every decision becomes a friction point. And friction kills momentum. Discipline means setting a time, a place, and a plan, and showing up no matter how you feel. 3. Apply the 2-minute rule. Discipline begins with starting. Most procrastination is a failure to begin, not to complete. So make the first step effortless. Don't write a chapter. Write one sentence. Don't read for an hour. Read for 2 minutes. Don't commit to a workout. Commit to tying your shoes. Starting changes everything. It rewires your brain from avoidance to action. Once you begin, momentum takes over. 4. Master identity-based discipline. You do what you believe about yourself. If you say, "I'm lazy," you will act lazy. If you say, "I'm inconsistent," you will quit early. But if you decide, "I am disciplined. I finish what I start. I do what others avoid," then that belief will drive behavior, even when motivation is gone. Identity shapes execution. So start claiming the identity of the person you want to become, and prove it with your actions daily. 5. Eliminate negotiation. When you negotiate with yourself, you lose. The second you ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" you've already lost time. You've opened the door to excuses. The disciplined don't ask how they feel. They act. Because the habit was already decided. Yesterday. Discipline removes options. And that's what makes execution effortless. 6. Create consequences and rewards. Behavior without feedback fades. If you skip a workout, you pay a consequence. If you complete your reading streak, you reward yourself. If you follow through for 30 days, you earn a meaningful milestone. Discipline thrives on structure. Use it. Track your streaks. Make commitments public. Create accountability triggers. What gets measured improves. What gets ignored declines. 7. Remember, pain is part of the process. There are 2 pains in life: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One is temporary, the other lingers. Discipline feels difficult in the moment, but it produces confidence, growth, and results. Regret feels easy at first, until you look back at what could have been. Choose discipline. Choose growth. Choose forward motion, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Self-discipline is not about force. It's about structure. It's not about being stronger than your emotions. It's about making the decision once, then building a system so that decision repeats itself automatically. The world rewards the people who keep going when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one is watching. In the next chapter, we'll break down how small, consistent daily habits, done without drama or delay, unlock compound growth that most people never experience. Because once discipline is built, consistency becomes inevitable. Let's continue. The power of tiny habits, 1% better every day. Massive success isn't created by massive action. It's created by small actions, repeated relentlessly. This is the truth most people ignore. They chase intensity, they burn out, they stop, they restart, and they wonder why progress never compounds. But the 1% understand something different. They don't try to get better by 50% in one day. They aim for just 1% every day. That 1% improvement might be invisible at first, unimpressive, easy to overlook. But when repeated daily, it builds momentum so powerful that in a year, they're not twice as good. They're 37 times better. This is the odd power of compounding habits. The force behind every great transformation, the silent edge of every top performer. Let's break down how to make it yours. 1. Understand the compound effect. Success doesn't come from what you do once. It comes from what you do consistently, even when no one's watching. If you read 10 pages a day, that's 3,650 pages a year. If you improve your skill by 1% each day, you grow exponentially. If you save, create, build, or learn in small increments, your results eventually explode. This is the math of greatness. As tiny effort at a time, X consistency equals breakthrough results. But only if you stay with it long enough. 2. Focus on process, not outcomes. Most people focus on goals, but goals are just directions. Habits are what move you forward. Don't set a goal to read 20 books. Build the habit of reading every morning. Don't set a goal to lose 10 pounds. Build the habit of moving your body daily. Don't chase income. Build the habit of solving problems and creating value. The goal gives you a target. The habit gives you the system to reach it. Forget intensity. Build identity. 3. Start ridiculously small. The best habits don't start big. They start so small they're impossible to fail. Write 1 sentence, do 1 push-up, study for 1 minute, read 1 page. You won't stay there, but starting small eliminates resistance. It builds consistency, and it removes the mental friction that stops most people before they begin. Small is sustainable. Small is scalable. Small is smart. 4. Stack habits onto existing routines. Habits stick when they're attached to what you already do. After I brush my teeth, I'll read 1 page. After I drink my coffee, I'll review my learning notes. After I log off work, I'll write for 5 minutes. This is called habit stacking. And it turns your existing routines into white launch pads opting for new ones. You don't need more time. You need more strategic placement. 5. Track your streaks. Behavior reinforced becomes behavior repeated. Use a habit tracker, a calendar, a journal. Every time you complete your habit, mark the win. Over time, the watch streak becomes motivation in itself. Don't break the chain. Consistency is fragile. Protect it. 6. Build a minimum standard rule. Life gets messy. Travel, sickness, emergencies. But if your habit is tied to an all-or-nothing mindset, it will collapse under pressure. Instead, build a minimum. Even on the worst day, I'll write 1 sentence. Even on the busiest day, I'll read 1 paragraph. Even when I'm exhausted, I'll show up for 2 minutes. This protects the identity. I never miss. And in the long run, that identity is more valuable than any one intense session. 7. Be patient with the plateau. At first, results will feel invisible. You'll wonder if your efforts matter. You'll be tempted to quit. That's when 99% of people give up, right before the compound effect kicks in. But the 1% keep going. They understand that success is delayed. It's slow, then sudden. It looks like nothing, until it becomes everything. Tiny habits work, but only if you give them time to work. Your habits are the most powerful force shaping your future. They determine whether you drift or dominate. Don't wait for a massive breakthrough. Build momentum in small daily steps, and I'll trust the math of progress. Because the world doesn't reward occasional brilliance. It rewards consistent execution. In the next chapter, we'll move from consistency to execution. You'll learn how to crush procrastination, eliminate inertia, and take action relentlessly, even when conditions aren't perfect. Because knowledge without execution is wasted. Let's turn your ideas into results. Let's keep going. Mastering execution. Turn ideas into reality. Everyone has ideas. Everyone makes plans. Everyone dreams of success. But very few people execute. They talk. They prepare. They research. But they don't act. Not at the level that produces real, lasting results. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't intelligence, talent, or intention. It's this: the ability to execute relentlessly, regardless of emotion, conditions, or excuses. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards completion. Execution is the bridge between old vision and victory. Let's break down how to cross it every single day. 1. Eliminate the illusion of busy. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Many people confuse motion with progress. They check emails, attend meetings, make lists, watch tutorials, and feel productive. But nothing truly moves forward. The top 1% don't measure their day by how much they did. They measure it by what they finished. Execution means finishing what matters. If it doesn't lead directly to a result, it's a distraction. Cut it. 2. Start before you feel ready. Perfection is a trap. You don't need the perfect timing, the perfect plan, or the perfect mindset. You need to begin now, imperfectly. High performers act before they feel fully prepared. They build while moving. They improve through feedback, not fantasy. Clarity comes from action. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is earned through doing. 3. Use the 80-20 rule relentlessly. Not all tasks are equal. The top 20% of actions will generate 80% of your results. The rest is noise. Identify what matters and attack it first every day. Ask yourself, what task moves the needle the fastest? What action has the highest leverage right now? Prioritize impact over volume. Focus beats frenzy. 4. Schedule execution like a non-negotiable appointment. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. Don't try to work on your goal. Block time. Protect it. Treat it like a meeting with your future. Time blocking creates structure. It removes ambiguity. It builds urgency. Set a time. Show up. Shut everything else off. Do the work. Chapter 5. Kill the zero-day mentality. Momentum is everything. Every day you don't execute, resistance grows stronger. That's why the top performers adopt a rule. No 0 days. Even 5 minutes counts. One action, however small, keeps the chain unbroken. Never allow a day to pass without forward movement. 6. Make it visual, immediate, and measurable. Your brain thrives on feedback. Track completions. Check off tasks. Measure progress visibly. Progress builds pride. Pride reinforces action. Action builds identity. You become the person who follows through because every day you prove it. 7. Stop relying on feeling. This is the discipline of execution. You act whether you feel like it or not. You act when you're tired. You act when you're uninspired. You act when it's uncomfortable because you've decided who you are. And execution is no longer a debate. It's a system. Emotion follows motion, not the other way around. Ideas mean nothing without action, and action, repeated daily, turns invisible effort into undeniable results. Execution is what separates the dreamer from the doer, the talker from the winner. If you're serious about transforming your life, stop collecting strategies. Start applying them. One action at a time, one block of focus, one completed commitment. In the next chapter, we'll sharpen your mental toughness, the mindset that keeps you moving through resistance, rejection, and fatigue. Because even the best strategies fail without emotional resilience. Let's build that foundation next. Mental toughness, how to keep going when life gets hard. Everyone is motivated at the beginning. Everyone feels strong when things go well, but life doesn't stay smooth. Plans fall apart, progress stalls, resistance hits, and that's when most people quit. Not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, but because they never developed the one trait that separates the top 1% from everyone else. Mental toughness. Mental toughness isn't about feeling invincible. It's about staying committed. Especially when everything around you gives you a reason to stop. Let's break down how to build the mindset that keeps you moving when others break. 1. Accept that pain is part of the process. Growth hurts. There is no path to greatness without discomfort. You will feel tired. You will get discouraged. You will question yourself. That is not failure. That is the cost of transformation. The mentally weak run from discomfort. The mentally tough embrace it, because they know it's the signal of progress. You must learn to say, "This is hard," and that means, "I'm doing something right." 2. Control your self-talk or be controlled by it. Your mind will speak to you constantly, and if you're not careful, it will sabotage you. "I'm not good enough. This isn't working. What's the point?" These thoughts are not reality. They are habits. Mentally tough people don't silence the negative voice. They replace it with truth, with discipline, with identity. They say, "This is difficult, but I'm built for difficult. I don't quit when it gets hard. I rise. I've done hard things before. I'll do it again." You become what you tell yourself daily. Choose your words like your life depends on them, because it does. 3. Push through when you feel least motivated. Mental toughness isn't shown on your best days. It's built on your worst. When you're tired, distracted, uninspired, that's the moment that counts. That's when average minds give in, and strong minds lean in. You don't need a second wind. You need a decision. I show up anyway. Action doesn't come after motivation. Action creates it. 4. Use the hard days equals bonus points rule. Most people treat bad days like wasted time. The mentally tough see them as multiplier moments. Because when you show up at your worst, you train your brain to trust you. You expand your capacity. You harden your mindset. Doing the work when it's easy is practice. Doing the work when it's brutal, that's what changes you. Every time you push through, your identity becomes stronger. I don't skip. I don't retreat. I don't need ideal conditions. I execute. 5. Reframe setbacks as signals. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path. Rejected, you're in the game. Fatigued, you're pushing limits. Lost momentum, time to test your systems. Mentally tough people don't waste energy blaming conditions. They extract lessons. They adjust quickly. They keep moving. The weak ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The strong ask, "What am I supposed to learn from this?" 6. Choose grit over comfort, every time. Comfort is the silent killer of progress. It lulls you into coasting, into mediocrity, into thinking that good enough is acceptable. But mental toughness means choosing the harder path when it matters. The harder conversation, the extra rep, the discipline instead of the excuse. It's not about becoming a machine. It's about becoming someone who can't be broken by pressure. 7. Visualize your future self and fight for them. When things get hard, don't think about how you feel now. Think about who you're becoming. The version of you who follows through. The version who keeps promises. The version who finishes toughness isn't about how strong you are today. It's about fighting for the person you're building. No matter what stands in your way. Mental toughness is the quiet force behind every great achievement. It won't show up in the highlight reel, but it's what keeps the real work going, day after day, long after others have stopped. In the next chapter, you'll learn how to turn that inner strength into outer excellence. By pursuing what mastery, not mediocrity. You'll discover how the best become the best, and how to structure your own path to greatness, one layer at a time. Let's keep building. The pursuit of mastery. Be the best at what you do. Most people stop at good enough. They learn just enough to stay employed, practice just enough to be competent, push just enough to avoid failure. But the best, the top 1%, play a different game. They don't aim for adequacy. They chase mastery. Mastery is not about perfection. It's about depth. It's about becoming so good that you cannot be ignored. It doesn't happen quickly. It doesn't happen by accident. It's a deliberate, demanding pursuit. And it's the most rewarding journey you will ever take. Let's break down how to achieve it. 1. Decide to specialize. You can't master everything. You must choose. The world doesn't reward generalists with average skills. It rewards, as specialists, with exceptional ability. The deeper your expertise, the more irreplaceable you become. Ask yourself, what field, skill, or craft can I commit to for years? What am I willing to study, practice, and refine, long after most would stop? Mastery begins the moment you stop dabbling and start devoting. 2. Obsess over fundamentals. The elite don't outgrow the basics. They dominate them. They don't chase flashy tactics. They refine the core. Over and over again. A master writer rewrites the same sentence dozens of times. A master athlete drills the same movement thousands of times. A master investor reads the same reports others skim. Mediocrity skips steps. Mastery repeats them until there is no weakness left. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is how greatness is built. 3. Design a daily training system. Mastery is not a project, it's a lifestyle. You need a training routine that forces growth, that confronts your weaknesses, that stretches your capacity. Schedule high-quality practice every day, track performance, analyze mistakes, seek feedback. You are not just doing more, you are doing better by design. Systems make excellence inevitable. 4. Embrace long-term thinking. Mastery takes years, not weeks. That's why most people never reach it. They quit too soon. They expect rapid progress. They get bored. They get distracted. They walk away from the very path that could have made them great. You must play a different game. Commit to the long arc. Think in decades, not days. Every day you stay with it, you separate yourself further from the average, until there's no comparison left. 5. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. True mastery lives outside your comfort zone. The work is tedious, the growth is slow, the feedback is harsh, but it's in those uncomfortable spaces that transformation occurs. Mastery isn't about feeling good, it's about getting better. And that process is rarely pleasant. If you're always comfortable, you're not improving. 6. Study the best, then surpass them. Find the masters in your field. Study their routines, dissect their process, learn their failures. Then use that knowledge to go further. Innovate. Improve the model. Push the boundaries. Mastery does not mean imitation. It means transcendence. You don't want to be as good as the best. You want to become your own standard. 7. Mastery is a decision, repeated daily. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always see results. But the master shows up anyway. One more practice, one more refinement, one more layer. Because they've made the decision. I will become world-class, no matter how long it takes. That decision is what keeps them moving, long after others stop. The pursuit of mastery is not for everyone. It's hard. It's lonely. It's slow. But if you choose it and stay with it, you will achieve what few ever do, a level of skill, confidence, and impact that cannot be faked, copied, or replaced. In the final chapter, you'll learn how to keep your edge for life, how to stay ahead of 99% of people, not just once, but last forever. Let's finish strong. The final edge, stay ahead of 99% for life. Getting ahead is hard. Staying ahead, that's even harder. Anyone can win once. Anyone can grind for a few weeks. Anyone can get a lucky break, ride momentum, or hit a short-term goal. But most people fade. They lose focus. They get comfortable. They stop doing what made them successful in the first place. The final edge, the trait that separates the elite from the forgotten, is consistency over time. Not for a month, not for a year, for life. Let's break down how to stay at the top long after others stop showing up. 1. Never let success become a signal to slow down. Success is dangerous. It creates comfort. It lures people into maintenance mode. I've made it. I deserve a break. I'll coast for now. But the moment you shift from growth to maintenance, you begin to decline. The top 1% understand. What got you here must evolve to take you further. They don't rest on past effort. They reinvest. They recalibrate. They rise again. Stay humble. Stay hungry. Never confuse momentum with permanence. 2. Adopt the forever student mindset. The second you believe you know enough, you've already fallen behind. The world moves too fast. Skills evolve. Markets shift. New tools, trends, and challenges emerge daily. The only way to stay ahead is to keep learning. Deliberately, consistently, without exception. Read. Reflect. Upgrade. Adapt. Every single week. Warren Buffett still reads 5 hours a day. Kobe Bryant studied film even after winning championships. Success didn't stop their education. It intensified it. Stay sharp by staying curious. 3. Protect the habits that built you. The disciplined routines that created your advantage are easy to abandon once results arrive. Don't. Keep tracking. Keep time blocking. Keep reading. Keep learning. Keep doing the deep work. Systems don't stop when you win. They matter more than ever. Because the higher you climb, the greater the cost of losing focus. 4. Audit your life ruthlessly. Complacency creeps in silently. Review your goals, track your behavior, audit your calendar, eliminate the noise. Identify where you're slipping. Every 90 days ask, am I still improving? Am I still operating at my edge? What have I tolerated that I would have rejected 6 months ago? Self-awareness is your alarm system. Use it. Evolve your identity as you grow. You are not who you were a year ago, or who you'll be a year from now. Mastery demands reinvention. The habits, skills, and strategies that served you at one level must be upgraded to serve the next. Let go of yesterday's mindset. Build new capacity. Grow into a version of yourself that can handle the next level of success without falling back. If you don't evolve, you erode. 6. Never stop playing offense. The average person waits. They wait for permission, wait for motivation, wait for things to calm down. Winners create momentum, daily. They don't just respond to opportunities, they engineer them. They don't react to change, they drive it. They act with urgency, with intention, with clarity. The moment you stop being proactive, you start losing ground. 7. Make legacy your motivation. At some point, growth becomes less about goals and more about impact. Who are you becoming? What are you building? What will outlast you? Stay ahead by focusing forward. Play the long game. Make decisions that compound. Build something that makes people better, even after you're gone. That's the mindset of the 1%. They don't just win, they endure. Final words. You've reached the end of this audiobook, but this isn't the end of your journey. This is where it begins. If you choose to apply what you've learned, you now understand why learning faster is your greatest weapon, how to build discipline that outlasts emotion, how to turn small habits into massive advantage, how to protect focus, develop mastery, and execute relentlessly. And most of all, how to stay ahead for life. Most people will listen to this and change nothing, but a rare few, will act, will build, will rise. Be one of them. The future belongs to those who grow faster than the world around them. You now have the blueprint. Now prove that you'll use it. End of audiobook. Thank you for listening.